So it was around a year ago when I was receiving my Muri Award for the longest Indonesian painting. It was a very formal event. The press was there, the media was there, and even the Minister of Tourism, Pak Sandiaga Uno, was there to present me the award. And after the event, a member of the press came up to me, and she asked me, handed me a microphone, and she asked me, "So Eva, how did you come up with the inspiration for this painting?" All right, my mom always tells me to be honest. And honesty is always the best policy. I get it, Mom, but I don't think that it would serve me right if I said, I was pooping when I got the idea. Like, that would not look great. But here's the thing. Luckily, I came up with a half-truthful answer. Sorry, Mom. I told the lady that interviewed me, I was journaling and some stuff. I came home that night thinking of two questions. One, what was for dinner last night? And how many great ideas could possibly come out of a session in the toilet, just like my idea? So today, I will be presenting to you how to make the most out of your toilet sessions. Just kidding. Today, I'll be showing you how to be your best creative self and how to ultimately create something out of it. I don't know about you, but how many of you have ever told yourself that I'm just not the creative type? Or I am just left-brained, Or I like to do that, but I'm not that good enough that, I can upload about it. Or I took blah, blah, blah in university, so I can't be good at blah, blah, blah naturally, right? I've been there. Those are sentences that I've said to myself. And I can say for sure that you are not creative. You're just not allowing yourself to be creative. Sometimes we create these certain expectations that we need to be at a certain level of expertise to be able to start creating. And what is the antidote for that? This is something I call creative confidence. Creative confidence is the idea that humans naturally have the skills to create breakthrough ideas and have the courage to act upon them. But more often than not, creative confidence is often buried under thresholds and plethora of fear of judgment and self-doubt. Now, the question is, how do we harness our full creative confidence? I'd like to present to you a way of thinking that I've adapted in my daily life. It's called the pooing state of mind. All right, don't laugh about it just yet, all right? Listen up. Imagine you are sitting on a toilet bowl right now. And while you wait for that bowel movement to kick in, suddenly you're thinking about, how do I best talk to my boss about raising my wage? Or how about I create new products for my business? In the comfort of your toilet, in the comfort of your private space, where nothing is expecting you or no one is expecting you to feel, do, or act, your mind is free. Your mind can suddenly create so many genres of ideas, and you suddenly pay attention to the things that you would not otherwise care about when you're not pooing, right? And something interesting about this is so many crazy and life-changing ideas of this world are actually from these mindless states of being. I'll give you an example. Anybody recognize this? This game? Toot, toot, toot. The mushroom, the star. Shigeru Miyamoto. She is the game designer of Nintendo. Actually, he had a fancy bathtub installed in his office for the sake of brainstorming. And during one of his soaks, he came up with the idea for Donkey Kong, which ultimately led to the creation of our beloved Mario. Not only Shigeru, our beloved Harry Potter. Did you know that J.K. Rowling was zoning out on a train trip for 4 hours with no pen, paper, or books? She just let her mind wander off. And when she got off that train, she got a mental note of what the storyline of Harry Potter's The Sorcerer's Stone. See, if that's not reminiscent enough of how our mindless states of not caring is so powerful, remember my initial story about how I got the idea for my Muri Award painting? I was at the toilet. And something that is the common thread that is with everyone I mentioned here is that we had no expectations. There's a certain degree of reckless abandonment when we are in that field of thinking. And that is powerful. Now, we get to the point where we're in the toilet and we come up with the idea, and now you guys are standing up already. And you came up with an idea this time. You're sticking to an idea finally. But when you get out the toilet, what do you do with that idea? That's where most of us fail, all right? We take that idea, and when we go out the toilet, we succumb back to our comfort zone. We do not act on them. So this is something I like to practice, which is not picking the low-hanging fruit. All right, what does it mean? Why doesn't the low-hanging fruit taste the best? I'm going to show you my friend Monica's drawing. This is what Monica came up with. She came up with a basketball. All right, and I asked her, okay, Monica, why a basketball? Why? Tell me. And she said, well, I like basketball. See, you could just end there. The option is there. You could just, okay, that's basketball, and you're done with it. But stopping here makes you forget all the opportunities and the variations that this basketball can lead you to. Here is where discomfort plays a big role in creativity. So I'm pretty sure in the human existence, somebody out there has ever thought about, let's make a movie about aliens. Sure, okay. But how many humans have ever thought about making a movie about blue-skinned aliens living on a planet called Pandora and making a 3D film out of it? I'm talking about Avatar, by the way. How many people have gone that extra length to think deeper on their first idea, their initial idea? Which is why I'm saying the best fruit are the ones at the top of the tree. It's the ideas that require a little bit of hard brain work, a little bit of climbing up to the tree to get. Which is why I'm saying pick your third best idea. Your first and second best idea are your natural inclination to be agreeable and to be easily understood. But these first two ideas are the ones that are most forgettable. Keep that in mind. So with this in mind, I told Monica, okay, Monica, your first idea, that was okay. Thank you for putting something out there. It's a basketball. But try to think of your second best idea. Something that's slightly uncomfortable for you to draw, but you know what? Be spontaneous. Do it. Draw something. This is what she came up with. She came up with a drawing of two girls behind a basketball. And I asked her, okay, tell me about it. Why the two girls? And she told me a story about how when she was growing up in the basketball team, she was the only girl. She wished she had more female basketball friends, and she thinks that basketball is a really masculine-centric type of sport. You see, now there's a story. It's not just a basketball. There's something to it. There's a story to it. And then we don't stop there. I asked her again, okay, now think harder. Not harder, but be spontaneous lah. Pretend it's like a poo session. You know what? Whatever comes out of your mind, put it. And this is what she came up with. Jetpacks. Jetpacks on shoes. And I asked her, why the jetpacks? And she told me, I don't know, I'm like 155 centimeters. I'm very short. But all my life, I've always wanted to dunk. Do you see the flow here? It started from just a circle. And then if you stop at the basketball, you lose everything. You lose the plot, you lose the characters, the problem, and the problem resolution. So, creative productivity, to be creatively productive, is how you think of something that's slightly comfortable, but still make it uncomfortable enough. And it's the key to making your creative ideas actually powerful and life-changing ones. So when you feel comfortable with an idea, think harder. It needs to make you feel some sort of crazy. If it doesn't make you feel some sort of crazy, then probably, chances are, it's not a good enough idea. And when it comes to execution, you're not gonna feel as motivated because everybody thinks about the first and the second idea, right? So with this in mind, I want you to continue whatever you had just now, drawing on your Instagram story, and think of the next 2 steps, all right? Draw something out of the circle. Use colors that you didn't use before, you know? And tag me on Instagram while you're at it. I might just repost you and let's talk there, okay? Now, we've got to the point where we elaborated our ideas. Now, we're getting to the heart and most arguably the most difficult part, which is the creation. Now, this creation part is where the ability to overcome fear and doubt is critical. Because at this stage, it's not about creating elaborate plans. It's not about planning the best way to reach a certain goal. It's about moving fast and ignoring all fear and judgment. Admittedly, I just got out of a creative burnout period of my life. I didn't paint for 6 months. I'm a painter. That's what I should do, right? But I didn't paint for 6 months. Even the thought of even touching a paintbrush terrified me. And I thought, why did I get into a burnout? The reason it turned out was because I started to do the easy thing, which is caring. No, it's so ironic. People tell you to care, and it's so difficult to not care. That's the thing with our generation these days. That's the thing with us. It's really easy to care about other people's opinions when the true power is actually in not caring at all. I tried to question myself, right? Okay, so I hate myself now. Why do I care so much about other people? I wish I was myself 3 years ago, you know? When I was 17 years old, I'm 21 now, but when I was 17 years old, I made 2 businesses in that same year. And in that year, I collectively gained 100,000 followers on my business profiles. And in that same year, when I was 17, mind you, I hit my first 1 million milestone follower on social media. And it baffled me because I'm 21. I should have known better. But why was I ridiculously creative at that point? I was so productive every day. Like, I posted 3 or 4 videos every day. I didn't mind. And ultimately, it led to me blaming or crediting it to the pandemic. During the pandemic, it was like my big toilet of no judgment. I was stuck in a room. Nobody was there to judge me. Nobody knows what I'm doing, whether I'm failing, whether I'm succeeding. I was thriving under an environment where nobody could see what I was doing. But that's not reality, right? It's not the pandemic anymore. If I keep on giving the pandemic credit to my massive growth, I'll not grow. So, creativity, I discovered, is actually like a muscle. It's not something that needs to be perfect to start with. It's a muscle that will grow and strengthen with practice. I got out of that burnout period with a surprising turn of event. The tipping point was one day, I was scrolling through my old TikTok videos from 3 years ago. I didn't know that the cure to my burnout was to actually to admire myself, and make fun of myself in the progress. I looked at who I was 3 years ago. It took me 60 videos to get my first viral video. Through lots of trial and error. These are videos that I did. It's not art videos, as you can see. I tried fashion. Well, I tried cooking. I tried teaching people English. I tried calligraphy. I tried acting. I even tried humor. God, I was awful at it, but I tried. And it took me this much videos to get my first big break. So just putting something out there is actually the key to getting better at it. So creativity, it's not a mythical creature, all right? Creativity is not only for those born with vivid imagination, it's a skill that can be learned. So my question for you is, what do you want to do? Do you want to start posting on Instagram? Do you want to start creating content? Do you want to start to pick up the hobby on dancing? Do you want to start to move to a new job or change up your style? Do it! Because in the toilet, nothing is impossible and nothing is a little bit out of the extraordinary. You owe it to yourself. So before I leave, I'd like to remind you the 3 steps on how to gain your creativity back or grow on. Allow yourself to be creative with no expectations. Pick your 3rd best idea. And remember, creativity is a muscle. Practice makes it perfect. And with that being said, go get it, creative people.